Thank you, thank you, thank you, okay,
Isn't here either.
great. Night.
And the unknown.
Mr. Barry.
Right, so that's three.
Yeah, so we don't have a quorum, so we can't do our minutes, that's okay, but we're not voting on anything else, so. Okay, can we go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm heard, yes, I'm heard. We can't hear you, but that's okay. Good evening, everybody. So, let's get started, and, we certainly don't want to waste time, right? Just to do the roll call, so everybody's aware of who is here from the, Housing Committee. Rosemary Ginty, I'm present. Mr. Barry is absent. Lee Chung.
Present.
Ingrid DeLeon. Jessica Sosa is absent, and Ted Morris is absent. So we have 3 members. We do not have a quorum. Therefore, we are not able to adopt our October minutes. So we'll go right into the items on the agenda. Chair's report. Let me be brief. At our last meeting, we talked about Local Law 97, the carbon one, and learned that it was effective the very next day, October 24th. And one of the things the committee members wanted to do was to ask the Department of Buildings to come and explain. It's a complicated law, and some changes were made to come and explain it to us. The district manager asked the Department of Buildings to send somebody this evening. You're not going to believe this. They have no money in their budget for anybody from the Department of Buildings to come to any community meetings at night. That is the answer that we were given.
They can't do it on Zoom? They don't have to be in person?
I understand that. I know that. Nobody is available. They have no money to pay for somebody to participate in a community meeting at night. So everybody put their thinking caps on and figure, how are we going to be able to get the information we want, knowing that we can't get it at night? Yes, Lee.
Okay, I've already attended one meeting about this, actually done by the Manhattan City Council member, Gail Rohr. And it was done during the day, so I give them that. But this was several months ago. But I was thinking, can we invite an elected official? Because this is a city thing, and we can get maybe Eric Dinowitz and his staff to come and discuss the ins and outs of it.
We can ask.
Yeah.
Let's ask.
Right.
Okay. It's second best, but
Right, yes.
thank you. I'll put it down and we can ask Eric. Okay, next, Council Member Sanchez, we're going to try and get for our next meeting, which, by the way, mark it down, is December 20th, because we're set for Christmas Day, and we got a new date, December 20th for our meeting. So we'll try and get the council member for that. A lot to talk about with her. And as we said at the last meeting, she is the chair of the Housing Committee on the City Council, and she represents part of Community Board 8. So this is perfect. This would be good. Third, I sent all of you a notice for a Zoom. Laura Spalter was kind enough to send it to me. You see the work they put together to have a Zoom conference for Thursday. You got it. I love the name City of Yes or City of Cement, and it's November 30th, 7 p.m. It's highly recommended. I am a believer. This is such a complicated proposal from the administration. The more we know, the better able we're going to be to formulate what we're for, what we're against, and be able to be intelligent about it.
And how it impacts CB8
Exactly.
and various districts.
Exactly. So I know Laura is more than happy for us to join, and I think it would be useful. The last thing in the chair's report, I came across, an article in the Times. I think this is important because of, and we talked about it in our last meeting, rent-stabilized housing is such a big part of the housing stock in the city and in our district. As the article says, it's over 1 million apartments in the city are rent-stabilized. That's very, very significant, right?
Reduced by half.
Well, this is a brand-new article. I mean, so there was a case going to the Supreme Court to call it unconstitutional taking, and it's just a month ago, the Supreme Court refused to hear the case.
Right.
So that is a very significant action. I just, without guessing or anything, it's a very conservative court. Property rights are a very big issue, and there will be more cases coming along. I just thought it was important to mention that now the most recent court has rejected hearing the case. So I do think that's significant for the inhabitants of 1 million apartments in our fair city. Okay, that's my report. And so we'll turn to the first item, which is the City of Yes Economic Development, the section concerning the New York City Housing Authority developments. Just a sentence or two to introduce. I think everybody knows this, but there was recently a joint hearing, a joint meeting where city planning presented to the Land Use Committee and the Economic Development Committee the zoning text proposal for economic development. A piece of that spoke about New York City Housing Authority developments, and our chair thought it would be useful and asked this committee to put it on our agenda, and it's here, so that people can understand what is being proposed. It's only a sliver of the entire city of the economic development, but it's still significant, as I was just saying to Ingrid, of the two developments we have in Community Board 8, it's over 2,000 units in those two projects. So it's a significant element in our community. Let's see, I think, can we do that? Mm-hmm. We went to YouTube and just slivered out the little teeny piece that city planning talked about this, and okay, so we'll listen to it. Go ahead.
All create new kinds of discretionary zoning tools for the future economic success of the city. Proposal 15 for campus commercial. Many large-scale residential developments, such as NYCHA campuses, are zoned as residential districts, meaning that retail services and maker spaces cannot easily locate in these campuses, and placing residents of these developments further away from local goods and services. This proposal would create a CPC authorization to allow for 15,000 square feet of commercial space in existing or new construction on a large-scale residential campus, giving residents greater access to necessities or space to grow new businesses. Proposal 16.
That's it. Okay, thank you.
Some portions of the city are not within walking distance of a local retail store, like a Del.
Okay, good. Now we'll put the people back on?
Yep, there they are.
Okay, and they can hear me, right? So that's it. That's all, that's all we have from the presentation. And city planning said they were not able to come tonight. We were hoping they would come and just present that piece and be able to answer our questions. Unfortunately, they were not able to come. So what you just heard is the sum total of the information we have, and I still think that, and they said, if we have questions, anyone from the community or any member of the committee who has questions, we'll put them all together, and they'll be happy to answer any questions we have. We'll package them up and send them down. So, having said that, shall I turn to the audience first, yes? Okay, does anybody want to say anything or ask any questions on this proposal? Oh, raise your hand, I'm sorry, raise your hand. That's okay, go ahead,
Can I
please.
clarify?
Yes.
Before the city, this whole thing came out, the city of Yes, in regard to NYCHA. NYCHA already had a program to build on the open space in NYCHA. But what they were looking to build was to build more housing. Now it sounds like instead of housing, they want to build commercial.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a conflict.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And I would think since the city has a problem with not having enough affordable housing, why would you want to take away that for a grocery store?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I think that's one question I like city planning.
Can you write it down so that at the end we'll collect them?
Okay.
Good. Julie, can you unmute her? Board Chair Julie Reyes, hand raised, yes.
Thank you. I'm sorry if I missed this, but they also, in the economics portion of that presentation, we're also speaking of putting like bodegas or grocery stores within the residential community. So you're gonna have a nice, quiet residential block, and then they're thinking of just putting in a commercial establishment.
That's correct, and if I heard the presentation correctly, up to 15,000 square feet, which is not small. I mean, that's a significant store. I guess my opinion on this, all of these projects are residentially zoned. I mean, they were developed as residential communities with lawns and grass. Some have parks. They were residential complexes. It was intentional that there would not be commercial uses on the ground floor. I think personally it's a mistake. I did talk to, I don't see Barbara from Ford Independence, and I think there is general opposition to the concept of it. If you put a commercial use, just take any commercial use. Number one, you're going to have a lot of deliveries. Suppose it is a grocery store. You're going to have trucks pulling up delivering Coca-Cola and bread, and that is a new activity in a residential community. Number two, there's going to be a lot of garbage coming out of it. Cartons, tack, all the cartons there's a lot of garbage that comes out. There also is, if you're allowed to do a store, you're allowed to have signs outside. So I'm not sure people would be happy with a neon sign that says, open 24 hours, come and get your coffee and hot dog. It just, to me, the concept of putting commercial uses on the ground floor of the New York City Housing Authority developments is a mistake. I don't think they thought it through, but again, I think we want to hear from people who live in those buildings. Any of you guys who represent Marble Hill or Ford Independence, we do have time on this, right? I mean, it isn't as though a decision has to be made and a position has to be taken right now. We do have some time on it. So spread the word and see what your communities say about it. I think that would be very helpful. Now I'll shut up. Any other hands raised or? Ingrid? No? Do you want to say that?
No,
Okay.
no,
I think it's a mistake, I really do. I do think it's a mistake. Okay, I do, thank you, Julie. Julie was the one who heard this piece in the joint meeting and highlighted it to come to this committee so that we can take a look at it and work with the people in the developments on it. So I'm grateful for that, because I didn't go, so. Anything else, folks? Otherwise, I'll move on to another item. No hands? Okay, good. Let's see, where did I go? Oh, yes, the, intro 1031A, the city council just passed a new bill that establishes, housing targets for community boards. So it's interesting, they don't put a number to it, but they say the city must come up with a plan to give established housing targets for each community board. And the bill passed. I'm not sure the mayor has signed it yet, but it passed with enough votes to be veto-proof. I sent there was a Crain's article on this. I sent it to committee members. You saw it. I also, let me hand out, I did get a copy of the legislation with, there you go, with the committee report. Just to pull out one thing that was in there. Let's go. Too much paper, you know? If you go to page 11, these are for my folks that have it here. In the law, it says housing production targets. There are going to be 5-year plans, and in the 5-year plan, I thought this was interesting, the targets are in 5 separate categories. Total housing units, so we'll get a target to produce this housing. Total housing units, affordable housing units, deeply affordable housing units, housing serving formerly homeless households, and preservation of housing units. So they're looking for targets in those 5 categories: total housing units, affordable housing units, deeply affordable housing units, housing serving formerly homeless households, and the preservation of housing units. So it's just, I wanted the committee to be aware of this. It's, you know, now you have the city council coming up with a housing plan. The mayor is coming up with a housing plan. Now that, I know, it feels a little bit,
They're at odds with each other.
it's just a little, I don't want to accuse anybody, but it has that feeling, right? So, anybody who is interested further in it, it's Intro 1031A. It's on the City Council's website, and it's passed. It's done, and I just wanted everyone to be aware of it. Any questions? What do you think?
Well, I think they gave very bold statements, and one of them that I caught my eye was preserve affordable housing. They haven't done a very good job of doing that, especially in Mitchell-Lama. They could have preserved that affordable housing unit development a long time ago, but so many Mitchell-Lamas have left the program because they wanted to make money. So the owner had, after 20 years, was allowed to leave. Co-ops are they want to make money, so there's Tibbet Towers as an example in our community board. They're a co-op, they privatize, now it's market rate.
And they're not alone, many are in that.
No, many have done this, and they haven't been successful, the city, preserving affordable housing, yet they've included that in this legislation. I'd really like to see the language on how they're going to do each of these items. You know, I mean, is it written anywhere? I mean, I don't know who actually wrote this.
They have a legislative drafting section, you know, that does it, yeah.
But it'd be nice to know.
Well, you know, it's when you talk about the affordable housing disappearing, to me, the whole city of Yes produce, build, more concrete, keep building. What I find sorely missing in the mayor's plan is how do you preserve what we already have? That is, as you say, the Mitchell-Lama housing was fabulous housing when it was built, it really was.
It is.
And you know I love rent-stabilized housing, I mean, it's 1 million units in the city. We'd be a totally different city without that. That needs to be preserved, and I don't see the mayor's plan addressing preservation at all. It's just build on grass, build on increased density. It's not a balanced housing plan, but.
The one thing I do see that is positive, and I don't know how long this is gonna last, but so many commercial buildings are standing vacant because of the pandemic, and because people are working from home now. And there's, I think that the Flatiron building is the first one. They're gonna convert it from commercial to housing. Whether it's gonna be affordable is another story. But
What
I
do you
just-
think?
Oh, it's not gonna be affordable,
No.
because the cost in doing it, and the location is,
Premier buildings, I mean, the Flatiron, it's an internationally known building, but it's
Right.
not gonna be affordable.
and it's unique.
Mhm.
It has cachet, so they're gonna do this, and it's gonna be market rate housing.
Mhm.
And it may not even be rental, it might be condos.
The thing that always breaks my heart could be people who don't even live here.
Oh,
You know what
yeah.
I mean, you know, when they say,
Yeah.
just, it's a place for them to stop over sometimes, so.
And that's
You don't
another-
create communities, you don't create a
And I
neighborhood.
think that's what they need to include in any kind of legislation under this intro,
Mhm.
language that says what define affordable? What is affordable?
Oh, it's defined or not, it's in there.
Percentage of AMI?
Yes, one is 60%, it's in there,
Okay,
it's in the
all
bill.
right.
It is in the bill.
And in perpetuity?
You will not, I know, Lee, when you read it, you're not gonna be happy,
All
but
right.
it's in there. They do define the terms. Mhm.
Okay.
But it will not make Lee happy. Don't read it, you're not gonna be happy.
All right, moving along.
Okay, so, but this is good that we're having this discussion on the housing, because I think it's in the spring that, the City of Yes Housing will be officially before us for the official ULURP hearing, with some environmental determination will be out then, and language will be out then. So we have some time, but there's no reason why we can't be talking about what we think would be a good thing to be in the plan, yes? Anything else? How's my group doing? Anybody wanna say anything or chime in at all? Okay, just raise your hand, we'll get to you.
Oh, someone raised their hand, David.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it must be. Mm-hmm. Good.
I was just applauding you.
Oh, that was an applaud, we thought it was a raised hand, okay. Well, we'll take the applause, won't we? Yes, thank you. And it's now in the record, we got applause. Anyone else? No. Okay, so, I'm going to hold, the housing guide to the very, very end,
Right.
because I don't wanna, waste these, fine people's time. On old business, again, we should be thinking now toward the ULURP hearing and the environmental review on City of Yes Housing. We are going to invite Councilmember Sanchez to our December 20th meeting. I think it will be a very, very good session. She is, I think she'll be helpful with, many of the things here.
And she can also talk about local law 97.
Absolutely.
Housing.
Well, is it? I don't know. We don't wanna put everything on her back. Let's just get one or two
We
things.
ask the staff ahead of time.
Well, we're gonna ask Eric Dinowitz, that's who we're gonna ask, right? Let's do that. Okay. I also thought, old business, we talked about Department of City Planning, has those offices, we forget the name of them, that works with the census, has census data. And in our first meeting, last month, the Housing Committee really wants to get real numbers on how much rent-stabilized housing, how many single-family, how many multifamily, all the data that comes out, and income. I think that was another thing.
And they break it down by,
Right.
they used to break it down by census tract.
Right. So, we talked about getting the people at city planning, to come, so for the next meeting, I'm gonna ask somebody from Department of City Planning to come from their census division. And we can start talking about what they have. I forget the name of the
No,
division.
it's not census, it's, data and,
I forget. I don't know. They probably changed the name since I was there.
I know the
I'm sure.
people are gone, that I knew, so.
But it still is a function that city planning
I hope they
does.
still do it.
Yeah. Okay, so next time we'll have a Councilmember Sanchez that, like this, and, city planning the census. Okay, so that's old business. Now I understand, is there a gentleman or a group of people under new business that wanted to talk about, what did we hear from? Some problems at, the Jericho project development? Did I say that right?
Not familiar.
Farah said that, there were some people who wanted to come and talk about some problems they were having in the Jericho project housing development. Is there anyone here that, no? Okay, it is, just so people understand, that these folks went to, Sergio's, committee, the veterans, because, oh, there was Derwin. I think Derwin, okay. Unmute him. You see Derwin?
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you able to hear me?
Oh, there you
Hello?
go. Okay, Derwin, I recognized your name from a memo that I got. So you
How are you
want to
guys?
talk to us about some problems at, the Project Jericho, development, yes?
Absolutely.
Okay, you're
The
on.
way that the facility is run is not suitable for any veteran whatsoever. There are no veterans programs within the building. There's no veteran representative within the building. A young lady by the name of Kim Carr took over the building, I believe, about 1.5 to 2 years ago. And she comes in from Rikers Island. She came in with a very militant attitude. And if I may say directly, she came in her first community meeting and said, I know where all the dope fiends and all the crackheads are in this building, and I'm getting y'all out of here. Now, to me, being a SERPA, the first thing should always be empathy, but that's not how my building runs. I had a very bad leak in my apartment coming from upstairs, which damaged some very expensive DJ equipment. They asked me for an invoice. I gave them the invoice for the repairs. The COO of the company told me the maximum I can pay you is $800. You can take it or leave it. I come to find out later on that she was supposed to pay me the $3,300 in full. This is how they take advantage of the guys in the building. They closed the computer room. These guys have nowhere to go. They have nothing to do. You're talking about military veterans, trained killers, to a certain extent. But the facility is more or less run as if it's a mental hospital. This is the way we're all treated. I've been disrespected on quite a few occasions, and I've had to stand my ground with the staff members. And now, from what I understand, the lady that runs the building, she really has it out for me. And I was told that by staff members. So with the leak in my apartment, black mold was found inside my closet. I refused to move back in the apartment. She told me she would lock me out of the building. I called 311. The city came in and told her he's not moving back in that apartment. And ever since that day, it's been hell for me in this building. I had another issue concerning a neighbor next door. And after 24 days, they had actually done nothing. So I started making phone calls, leaving an email trace. So all of a sudden, there's all this major concern. Oh, Mr. Wilson, we need to see how you're doing. I said, listen, there's no need to come around now, because when I told you what the problem was, which could have led to violence, you guys didn't care. After speaking to them downstairs without raising my voice, screaming, yelling, or anything, this young lady, who also has some issues with me, she decided she was going to call the police. The police came to my apartment and treated me. They told me they were waiting for the EMS workers to determine whether or not I should be hospitalized. Meanwhile, there's nothing on my record or jacket, period, concerning mental health.
Mm-hmm.
These the bullying tactics that the guys in the building go through. You know, you can't bully me. I'm fighting them to the very end on everything. My smoke alarm, 7 months, it chirped and chirped and chirped. I put in I don't know how many work orders. After I had to call some people at corporate, they finally brought me a smoke detector. Maintenance man, problems with him. Most of the guys in the building are afraid to step forward because they feel that they don't have anywhere else to go should things go wrong. And I truly understand their concerns. I try to stand for as many of the guys that I can, try to encourage them to speak out about being mistreated, not only as a man or a woman, but as a human being. I asked for a copy of all my work orders to show the trail of me being ignored. And after 3 days, they gave me a copy of work orders that was supposed to be for me. I believe there are 7 of them. 6 of them are forgeries.
Mm-hmm.
They're doctoring the paperwork. And it's easy to tell that they're forgeries because the tenant fills out the work form and then he signs when the work is complete. In the section where the complaints are, it's someone else's handwriting, and they're so slow that they spelled my name wrong. If I fill out a work order, you would figure out how to spell my name. Now, they spelled it Derwin. My name is spelled Derwyn. So as I say, there's a lot going on over here, and it really needs some attention. We need a veterans representative big time. They told we're going to hire someone. We're going to hire someone. They never hire anyone. The activities they have for my building are such. They asked us if we wanted to come downstairs and grow basil seeds in styrofoam cups. I'm 60 years old. Are you serious right now? To me, that's disrespectful. Other times they'll come and ask you if you want to come downstairs and paint and color. My grandsons paint and color. They're 4 and 5. Whatever monies are coming into Jericho, or probably whatever's going on with the paperwork, that's their business. Whatever they do is what they do. But when it comes to the veterans in this district being cheated and being mistreated by the staff members, something has to be done.
Mm-hmm.
I'll take it as far as I have to. I would love for a representative to come out and maybe speak to some of the guys in the building. We wanted to come up to where you guys were tonight, but as far as distance and these guys having finances, you know, and it's a little cold out. And like I said, once again, a lot of the guys are simply afraid. I will stand for every man in this building. I will stand for every veteran in this district if I have to. But something has to be done about 2701 Kingsbridge Terrace from top to bottom. Thank you for your time.
Mr. Wilson, is it all veterans in the building or
All
mostly veterans?
100%
All
veteran. 100%.
All veterans. So the building was built for the purpose of housing veterans then? That's
Exactly.
the purpose of the building.
But they're currently doing nothing for the veterans. And when I say nothing, I mean absolutely nothing. We had a Thanksgiving dinner that was corporate. There was 2 barbecues in the summer. That's it for the entire year.
Mm-hmm.
That's it for the entire year. There's no focus on veterans here because there are no veterans on the staff. You have a building with 99% men, and there's only 1 man that works downstairs.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
They're like 5 women that run the building. They never ask us what we want to do. They make up their minds what they want to do, and we're either in or we're out. The only time the guys in my building deal with the staff with any little program or anything they're trying to accomplish to justify funding is if they have food. If there's no food being served, you won't see anyone. They even took the computer room out of the building. the guys don't know how to use Wi-Fi. I can't sit down and teach anyone how to use a computer because these are the things that have been taken away from us.
How many units in the building?
Should be approximately 82 to 85 units.
And the black mold situation, did I hear you say that was corrected or not?
I wouldn't know because I refused to move back in the apartment. They say that they corrected the issue. They tried to get me to sign off on it, and I didn't. I said, I'm not signing off on that apartment. When I went in to check you, I'm still getting things out of the apartment. The guy that was fixing the apartment told me, he said, don't move back in this apartment. And I said, why not? Aren't you going to fix the problem? He said, they're not going to fix the problem. They're going to mask the problem. He told me, if you have any trouble breathing, go see your doctor and they'll give you a check for $30,000 because of the black mold, because it's been proven. I don't operate that way, but I thanked him for giving me the information that he did.
Okay, Mr. Wood, I think I misunderstood what you had said before, but thank you for clarifying it. If you don't mind, one of our community board members has their hand raised. If you don't mind, I'm going to see what Mr. Bender, maybe he has a question or wants to make a comment.
Okay, thank you very much for your time.
Okay, good, go ahead.
Thank you, Rosemary. Yeah, I have both a question and a comment. My question is, did you say that the gentleman had come before the Special Committee on Veterans Affairs? And if so, what happened there? I'm unclear on that.
Sergio suggested that he come here.
Okay. So, my comment is that the city has a Department of Veterans Services, and I wonder if Mr. Wilson has been in touch with the Department of Veterans Services to find out, to register his complaint. I mean, this sounds like a serious matter, and I wonder whether he's been in touch with them, and if so, whether he's had any response from them.
Okay, let's ask him now, if that's okay, Bob. Can we?
Please.
Mr. Wilson, no, you gotta, okay. We can't hear you, Mr. Wilson. Just wait till you're on. Okay, now can you speak? Go ahead. Did you hear Mr. Bender's question and comment?
Yeah, yes, I did. In response to that, no, I haven't been in touch with anyone from Veterans Affairs. Number two, second part of your question. What was the second part of his question, guys? I just lost my train of thought.
No, that was really just inter-board stuff.
Oh, no, I got it now.
You went to the special committee, what happened there? Sergio thought it was a housing issue, so thought it better be here. So that's not you. Mm-hmm.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
In regards to the meeting I went to at District 7, everyone at that district was everyone was really kind of angry about what's going on in my building. They thought that building was under their control. They moved forward with paperwork in an attempt to, I guess, bring all parties together. There was a meeting scheduled. Then I got a call back saying it's not a District 7 matter. We have to wash our hands of it. We have to, by law, turn it over to District 8.
So everybody else on the Zoom call here, the Jericho Project building is physically in Community Board 8, so Community Board 7 had to do that. I think there are so many issues here, Mr. Wilson. I think maybe Mr. Bender's suggestion is a good one, the Department of Veteran Services. Let us, in the Community Board, the district manager, find out how one best can get in touch with them. That's it. So we'll get you that contact. I think that is a very good place to go and to start. When it comes to some of these other issues, I think some of them you did call 311. So
absolutely,
you appropriately did that. You appropriately did that. I just, when it comes to the money to reimburse you for the flooding, just so you understand, we on the community board are discouraged and don't get into what would be a private battle on money, whether it's insurance or what have you. So I'm not sure we can be of help in that area. But for the rest, let's get you set up with the Veteran Services, and the other issues that you raised, they may, like the smoke alarm chirping and maybe a district service cabinet kind of thing. It sounds like it kind of gets so multiple issues that maybe a district service cabinet approach could be helpful. So, Mr. Wilson, do we have your contact information? Do you know?
Yes, I believe you do.
Okay. We do, okay, then that would have come through, the district manager. Okay, Mr. Wilson, we have your contact information, the district manager or the staff will get back to you with that contact in the Veteran Services, and, to the extent there are other issues on the list that maybe a district service cabinet, meeting could deal with, we'll do it. So, we're not letting you go, we'll do whatever we can, and I'm sorry to hear what you're going through. I'm sorry. It's,
Once again, I thank you guys for your time. I truly appreciate you.
okay. Well, just, if I could just be a little light at the end, I see you're a Yankee fan, so you deserve the best of treatment, okay?
Since the 70s.
Okay. Okay, take care, Mr. Wilson. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, let's see, what was the next thing? Any hands raised? No? Okay.
Argentina. Karen Argentina.
Oh, Karen, go ahead. Yes, Karen. Yes, Karen.
Hi, Rosemary. Hi, guys. I'm sorry, I was on another call in the beginning of your meeting. I didn't realize you'd go so fast over the City of Yes economic opportunities and this ridiculous idea for what they're planning for Marble Hill and NYCHA buildings. And I know that there's a vote that needs to be taken pretty soon. And did you do a resolution of some sort? Do you have, does the committee have an opinion?
Yes, certainly not favorably inclined. It's the kind of thing, I think I'd like to talk to the chairperson of the board. This was, the time really was spent with the Economic Development Committee and the Land Use Committee, and I think we're of one mind about the subject, but I don't want to go barging in, because I do think we have time to do something. I want to do it in a coordinated way, and I'd like to be led by the chair of our board the best way to accomplish that. But Karen, it's clear from the comments that were made here that we think it's nuts. Okay, just.
So maybe you could do something like, maybe you could just have that, that the committee reviewed the section just on the issue of NYCHA. I don't think you went into the other buildings that would be involved, and that and then for NYCHA in particular, that wouldn't be, because maybe the board will be able to get together and come up with some kind of resolution at the next board meeting, which would be very good. Because
Well, again, I'll ask the board chairperson. I mean, the two committees didn't come up with a resolution, right? Am I right? Well, neither committee, and I think it was a very extensive presentation. The joint meeting of the two committees didn't come up with a resolution. So, I mean, we stand ready to be helpful and add to it. But I don't know the timing for it.
the timing is
don't
the
think
end.
there's-
The timing is the 8th of January, I believe, and it's possible that your meeting is the next day. I can't remember exactly what the difference is, but if you don't vote, it's sort of like saying it's okay.
I couldn't
Oh,
disagree.
the chair has her hand up. Maybe she wants to say something.
Yes,
Hi,
Judge,
yes.
Lee, yeah.
Yes, I just wanted to say that the Economic and the Land Use Committee is having another meeting prior to our general board meeting in December. It's going to be a joint meeting continuing on this discussion. And what the office did prior on the first round of suggestions or comments on the city of Yes is the district manager took all the comments, put it all in one file and sent it over to the city of Yes, and they appreciated that. So I would ask that if everyone can either participate or even look at the video after the meeting, but before the board meeting, because you can still email the comments to the board office regarding this, because in the economics and the land use component, it was more than just the NYCHA. You also had, like I mentioned earlier, the commercial establishments going into the residential areas. I would highly suggest looking at the whole video. Yes, it's long, but the presentation, and they're coming back next month. So we do have time to give in our comments. We can give them individually and send them into the board office, or you could do it as a committee if you want to get additional information. And that would be on the portion for the economic and the land use, which oddly enough does entail parts of housing.
Well, I think I said it before, we're fortunate in that Jessica Sosa and Lee Chung are both on the land use committee, so that's very good. And I certainly, Ingrid, maybe we'd go to that joint meeting also. Again, it is clear that the proposal, as it deals with NYCHA, is viewed upon negatively by this committee. That is true. Do you have a date for when they meet together, Julie? Oh, sorry, you muted her up again. Did she do it?
I'm sorry,
Julie,
it's out of habit that I keep muting myself. Sorry about that. It's the
Do you have
first in December. I think it's the 5th or 6th. The notices will go out though. I don't want to give
5th or
the wrong
6th
date.
of December?
December, yes. I believe, but the notices will go out. And it'll also be on the community board's website.
Good. That's what they think the next joint meeting is,
But
so.
you already recommended that we submit questions at city planning's request.
If city planning said, if we have questions, put them in, you certainly, okay, we can send them into city planning too. Yeah,
And it's recommended to send them into Farah, to the district manager, so that she can have all of the community, and this is coming from them as well, because that's how they did the first round, to send any comments you have to the board office so that we can compile all the comments and send them in as one. It's easier for them to track it like that, and they suggested that at the land use and economic development meeting.
No, we certainly we will do both. I just want you to, city planning was invited to come here tonight and said that they weren't able to, but Farah said to me that whatever questions the committee had, we should send them to city planning. We'll send them both.
Yes.
We'll send the city plan and send it to Farah. We'll do both.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Okay, anything else, folks, or can I, no, great, good conversation, thank you. Okay, so this is, I think we're up to the last, we're gonna do the housing guide. This is the most boring part of the meeting. Where'd it go? Upload it to, like,
Here's a question from David.
Can somebody do? Well, where do we go? Thank you. Hi, David.
Yeah, thank you. Given that I am the last surviving member of the group that put together that guide, I'm going to beg off on this go around.
Leave here.
Good luck.
You're not the last. You have Lee and myself as well.
That's right, Julie was on it too.
Yes, 8 o'clock in the morning, I remember.
Hi.
With Paul Ellis, Lee?
Yes,
Yes, with Paul Ellis and the late David Cornbluth
yes.
Yes.
and Amy Robitar. I remember all these people. Julie,
Yeah.
right?
That's how we dragged Lee, that's how we got Lee back.
All right, well, been there, done that. Have fun with it this go round.
Yes.
Bye-bye.
So just so everybody knows, all we're gonna do now is go through this and start assigning work to different people. So it's rather boring. You're more than welcome to stay through it, but it's pretty boring.
I shall take my leave. Have a good night, all.
Good night.
Okay. Okay, so, I think I mentioned first that, maybe a goal would be that we take 2 months to do this, whatever pieces we get, and be done in January, you know what I mean? I think 2 months, okay. Now, how do we, divide this up to, I just divided pages, but it's up to you guys. How are we gonna assign the work here?
Well, it makes sense to have it assigned based on people's expertise in the particular area.
I want to upload it to Google Docs first. Being, you know, do we all have Google or Gmail?
I'll be hand doing it.
That's okay. We can take your notes and then just upload, and then that will be the basis, and then note on top of it.
Mm-hmm,
Do you want to do that?
whatever.
Okay. Okay. I like the idea of splitting into pages. Or sections. Like, how do you want to do it?
Lee, if you wanna do the assignment, be my guest. I just did page 1 to 7 goes to somebody, page 8 to 14 goes to somebody else, page 15 to 17 goes to, that's kind of the way.
Yeah.
But any way you think, be my guest.
I also don't mind, like, if you do first and last pass, right? And then your first pass gets edited and uploaded. Maybe Lee, your second pass, and then we can upload that draft, and then from there, I don't know, do you mind going digital, or do you wanna go hand? Go digital? Okay, so first, you go hand, first pass, Lee's second pass. After Lee's pass, we'll get it uploaded, go digital then, and then clean it up that way.
When you say first pass, second pass, you mean
I
just
mean,
handwriting? Okay.
Yeah, handwriting notes, right, and then I don't mind helping kind of like translating those notes.
Yeah, but I'm not gonna do the entire 29 pages.
I know. Well, technically, both of you have already done that work.
How much do you love that laugh? How much do you love that laugh?
Well, I mean, right, you guys were part of the construction of the first one,
I
no?
have my notes from the draft from the last one.
Okay, so something like that, right? I'm just making sure that those notes get incorporated, like, I don't know how, I'm here to help to make it easiest.
Well, you did already by saying Google Docs.
Okay,
but
yes.
Now, what pieces are, this takes work. Yeah, and, okay.
I don't have my copy on me, can I borrow yours for 2 seconds?
Yes,
Just so I can recall the section.
Just so you'll, I tried to do that, there.
All right. And then I don't know who's active on the call, who wants to be a part of this. Okay, so the first one, general information,
That's nothing.
that's nothing.
Cover letter, nothing.
That's nothing.
Yeah.
Tenants' rights and responsibilities, was that from somewhere, online?
That says,
And then that's tenants' responsibilities, right, that's 1 to 7, is that why you put it that way?
No, I just took 7 pages, that's all I
It
did.
is, so page 1 to 7 is the tenants' rights and responsibilities
yeah, I
update.
actually, this is all from, about tenants' rights and responsibilities, so.
Okay,
And so actually came from, what's here is what I had written down. It's the nonprofits that work with tenants, right? And also it illuminated, itemized what their tenants' rights are. So we just need to go through it, I could go through it and see if it needs to be updated.
Right, and what's there, is it correct, or
Is
the?
it current, right.
Current is yes.
here that I had in mind, I had telephone numbers, and I see they eliminated all the telephone numbers. I wonder why.
They might not work, so do we need to double check that?
Probably was a good reason, although I can't imagine what it would be.
And also, I see, they only had council is not a government agency, but I also gave them local nonprofits that do affordable housing and tenant advocacy.
I think it's later in the document.
Yeah,
All right.
so actually,
That's
programs,
what I did.
yeah, programs to assist with housing costs. I almost, I wonder if we need to like break it up into sections, rule of pages, I don't know. Okay.
That's what I did.
Yeah, I hear you. Okay, so tenants' rights and responsibilities splits into how to find a house, right? And then it brings us, just so like people can, comment, I'm gonna, one paperclip at a time, I promise. Okay, let's see. All right, tenants' rights, how to find a house, condo, apartment. Then it's real estate agents and persons. Then it's real estate websites. Then it splits into financial sources for real estate. So it's financing. So first is how to get a house, then it's financing. And then financing, then it's still, it's locating affordable housing. That kind of goes with the first section of like how to find a house, right?
Why do you think that's important?
It's in here. It's already in.
No, not why the information, why is it important that those things go together?
Just like, I think it should workflow from like someone who's looking for a house, right? So then they can use this as a flow chart.
You know why it's separate? The first part is private housing. The second one, if you look at it, it's all government.
Oh,
Agencies looking to,
okay,
that's the difference.
okay, I see, okay, so,
Like HPD, HUD, and, I don't know, do they have HCR?
so yeah, it goes locating affordable housing, which are the federal programs,
they
I agree
have-
with that.
Right, they have waiting lists.
Right, and then that's more, yep. And then it's fine, it goes back to financing again, but is this financing then just directly related to the federal housing, not the private? So it
That
goes,
is, government.
okay, so then that's why that's together. And then it ends nicely on page 8, so it's two things. Yes, so that works.
Accidentally, I did that.
It works out. So 1 to 7, it's called tenants' rights, but tenants' rights actually ends in half of the first page. And then it's broken up into, two categories, which is find a house and finance a house.
Right.
Find house, then finance house.
We agree pages 1 to 7 is one person's responsibility?
Fair.
There we go.
Fair,
Okay.
because it's private, and then it's,
I'll do it.
yeah, I wouldn't mind doing it, but you got it, okay. Find house, finance a house.
Right.
That's that.
Pages
1 to 7 are
1 to
yours.
7, private and public.
Right.
Those two, so that's that section.
I'll
But it's
do-
not really tenants' rights, so I would, the content, the table of contents might need to change
1 to 7.
to, that would be one, but then we'd also,
Well, it is tenants' right in terms of the boxes of what they included.
only on that first page, that's
Right,
it.
That half page, as you said.
That's it, it's literally, so
The rest of it is actually.
it's find a house, finance a house,
Right.
right? So it's getting approval. Then,
This should be probably after you have, tenants' rights and responsibilities should probably be after.
later, I agree.
Right.
I agree. Now that you have a house, know your rights, so you don't
Right,
get kicked
right,
out, right?
But still, pages 1 to 7.
Are a section.
You're gonna
Right, I
update.
could reorder it.
Okay, let's get the correct information and then look at it as a whole and decide
right.
if there should be.
Which way they go.
Exactly.
Right.
You do it now, it's gonna be a mess. We'll do it.
Agree. So Lee got that.
All right.
All right. Then the next section,
Eight to what?
it's end of 8, because,
End of eight?
most of 8 is a continuation of financial resources on the federal.
That would be
Right, it
five.
says utilities and city services.
Utilities and city service. So this is still, again, once you have a house, get how, how do you get light, how do you get city
What I have
services?
down, 8 to 14, is that what I had?
You,
Eight
let
to
me see.
fourteen, I take that.
8 to 14.
8 to 14, setting up Con Ed, setting up cable, setting up pickup and recycling,
8 to 14.
water, submitting and resolving complaints. That might, okay, that might flow with, tenants' rights, with submitting a complaint. Complaints, it continues, complaints, issues concerning rent controls, complaints, and then who to, how to get help with your complaints. Okay, so then the second section is managing complaints, like if,
Depending
and,
on what kind of housing you're living in, who do you go to?
correct, that's what that is. I'm gonna call it complaints just so we can. So complaints,
So where would that be?
that's 8 to 14.
8 to
Oh,
14.
okay.
And that's Ingrid, thank you so much for volunteering.
Even more, 8 to 15. Let me
Yeah,
look at the next section, because 15 is tenants, assistant, or with it, which is, goes back to complaint managers,
Right.
resources for co-ops, complaint managers, what to do if you're facing foreclosure, complaint and finance, avoiding foreclosure, complaints. So it actually continues, that's also to 17. Through 17
No,
is,
but we're not giving that to Ingrid,
No,
it's
no, no,
too
no.
much work for her.
I agree. I got you. But it's related is what I'm trying to say. And then the next section, 18 to
No,
23.
what happened from 14 to 18?
Is complaints.
He's only getting 8 to 14.
That's okay that's okay
Okay.
for now. We just don't know, if it's broken up into more pages. Hold on. So then, because it's really just, now it goes into homelessness resources. So it's just like, this actually might go to find a house, right? Find housing, homelessness, Department of Homeless, prevention assistance,
This is the,
section.
the gentleman who lives in, Jericho. There's a thing right here. U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development and Veterans Affairs, supportive housing. There's a phone number and an email.
And Pablo will get with Farah tomorrow, and they have the, contact information for him, and good. See how wonderful this, guide is?
It's excellent.
So what
So
do
this
we
is
have?
also complaints again.
15 to 17.
Yeah, it's complaints, resources to get your complaint heard.
Okay.
And then 18, it's always 18 to 23.
Right, so 18 to 23,
Also,
then to the end, right?
And then let me see, 23,
To the end.
government, hold on, now it's
No,
23 to the end is government, which that should be,
No. 20 to the bottom is landlord's rights.
so again, that section though should be in tenants' rights. So that should come all the way to that, or that front section be pushed to where that is.
One section that says
So tenants' rights and landlord rights should be together.
Right.
Not in
Um,
terms of workload.
I understand, 'cause then the last pages, right, it's just,
Let's just get this piece done, okay? There were
Yeah.
4 of us. We need, I divided into 5.
The
The
last
5th
page,
is
yeah.
going to Ted Morris, whether I would give him the end because it's the easiest. The only way we're gonna.
Yeah, the end is the absolute easiest. It's literally the contact forms.
And updating.
Government contact forms.
Updating.
The complaint form is in the back. I don't know if we wanna create an index for forms, so people can recognize that. That could be an idea. Or if we want the complaint form, well, this is to the community board. I think we should have an index.
Anybody who picks up the book.
It's a complaint form but it's addressed to the community board.
That's
Yeah.
right.
So
We
that-
hand out the document, people look at it, if they have a complaint, they fill that out and they send it to the community board. That's correct. That was the intention of that.
And then this is a survey.
Okay, so we have 15 to 17, 18 to 23, it's between me and you. Okay, that's it.
I wanted almost just, help with the table of contents, like this, like
At
organize.
the end, we're all gonna do that.
Oh, I
That is-
hear
That
it.
is a joint effort, the table of contents.
Okay,
Because before you came, we were talking about, we're gonna look at the table of contents to determine the two sides of the coin. I love that. I'm not gonna forget that image. What, in addition, in how many years, what in addition could now be included in the housing guide? And as you appropriately said, and what is there that is no longer necessary? So the table of contents is a joint effort to decide what we think should be in
so
and what we think should come out.
should we do that today then?
No.
Okay. All right,
I wanna tell you, when you go through this and you start working on this, all of us, you're gonna know more about housing.
I can't wait, yeah, I'm
I
looking
know.
forward to it.
So, you don't address the table of contents without having all that background. The background will help
I hear you,
in looking at the table.
I hear you.
Yes, well, yep. You're shaking your head, you're not laughing, I wanna hear you laughing, Chris.
All right. So Ingrid, you got 8 to 14? And then I'll do 15 to, what's 15 to 17 again? 15 to 17 is tenants, assistance, organizations. I'm not too familiar with it, but,
Well, look at 18 to 23, which would you rather do?
18 to 23 are homelessness, Department of Homelessness, it's city org. Yeah,
What do you wanna learn about?
I wanna learn about everything. So I like the rights and responsibilities, but that's split in between two different sections. So, so for the sake of this exercise, I'll do, the, 23, what is it?
18 to 23?
18 to 23, Jess.
Okay, Jess, and then I do 15 to 17, thank you.
Mhm.
And Ted is gonna get the tail end. It's the elected officials, that kind of list.
Literally, yeah, it's, and then maps and things that like bring together the
Mhm,
neighborhood.
mhm.
8 to 24 is Ingrid.
So I certainly can, everyone's writing it down, but I can certainly type it up. But it will be in the minutes. Right? I think
Oh,
that's-
the breakdown?
I think we will, yeah, sure. It's a record. It's a record. And I was, again, I think, by our January meeting, we meet the end of January. I think we should, that should be our aim, our goal.
So to have the first draft.
I think so.
Right.
I think so.
I'm fine with that.
The holidays are in
Right.
between, you know, we have lives, right? Yes.
That's
We
true.
We have lives to live, and, okay, so, I'll let Ted know, I guess I'll send him, I'm a little worried, I emailed him this morning and I got no response, so,
He's still away for Thanksgiving.
it could be. And the other gentleman, Barry, I don't think he exists. I don't think he's gonna be on our
Sarah
committee.
sent him an email or corresponded with him as to whether
Farrah is doing it all.
find out if he still wants to
Yes.
be on the board.
I think Farrah even said that, the borough president's office is aware of this, so.
All right, the Jericho project is mentioned in here, and it's not a veterans project, it's a supportive housing project.
Gentlemen, okay. Board of Housing, and he happens to be a veteran. I'll tell you, a number of years ago, when we, established the Special Committee on Veteran Services, not the first chair, it was the second chair, was I forget his name, was a gentleman who came from the Jericho Project. I remember him well, yeah.
Tell you right now, half of those buildings, right, like, are no longer really, it's really sad, we're actually.
Salvage is no longer.
Right, and then Curlier, right, is no longer, so it's just like,
We have to.
I think Orloff still is, and, like, that's.
And there are no new ones coming in.
Oh, no.
That's the problem, that's what we really need to report.
The last Mitchell was built in 1982, I think, in the Bronx. And that one, what else? 20 years was
So
coming back.
they're leaving, no new ones are coming in.
Right,
That's the shame.
That's messed up, right, mhm.
The only ones that kind of, they leave the program, are semi-okay, is if you were built before 1974, when the rent guidelines, rent control was still in place, you went into rent stabilization when you left. But if you were built in 1974 and beyond, the landlord can change your rent to market rent. That's why a lot of people
Got out, 'cause,
out. So God knows where all these people went.
right,
So much for,
affordable housing.
preserving affordable housing.
That's it, I'm a big believer in the preservation of housing
So am
that
I.
exists. It costs so much to build, and
Nowadays,
so,
yeah.
and so far much less to preserve what you have.
Right.
And I think the mayor has missed the boat completely on that aspect
And
of.
there's no way you can replicate Mitchell on our program,
There's
because it
not.
was,
The housing
because it
was
was
fabulous.
created,
Yeah, it's excellent, yeah.
when there was a lot of city-owned vacant land, and that through urban renewal. That's why the West Side had the majority of Mitchell owners.
Mhm.
And look at it now.
It's another world, it's another
It's
world.
been gentrified, because every single one of them, for the most part,
Hold
with
on.
the exception of maybe 3 Mitchell owners, rental and co-op, have left the program. And these apartments are selling for over $1 million.
Yes, they are.
Yes, I know.
Yes, they are.
So, can I just, since I think we should continue to think about and talk about the City of Yes Housing. I mean, we're the Housing Committee, we should have it bothers me to no end. Okay, there used to be a program called ECF, Educational Construction Fund, do you remember that? And, it was, they get a piece of property and build a school and build housing over the school.
Oh,
Okay.
It would be dual use.
So you can just drop your kids off before you go to work instead of.
Well, you could have said, but it's dual use of the land. I mean,
Yeah, yeah.
remember, one of the problems here is there isn't enough land. We're running out of land. That is, right? And when you look at, for instance, we have 2 new libraries.
Right.
in this, okay? I don't wanna say it's a waste of land.
Yeah,
Right.
do what they did in Brooklyn. They
Build-
built on top of it.
Yeah, of everything, yeah.
And they work with the
I agree.
nonprofit, Fifth Avenue Committee is the owner and manager of the property.
That's the kind of thing that
Guys,
doesn't,
Remember, the lock the upper lock is broken, the lock with the bottom one, okay?
Oh, you're leaving? How do we end this?
she'll end it.
It's still recording.
No, that's okay, because we're still meeting. We
Yeah, we're
haven't
technically
adjourned.
still in meeting.
Thank you, Pablo, thank you.
Okay, good.
But you see none of that in his proposal, to be imaginative about dual use. The only dual use of property is jam, 3 families on a single family lot. You know, I mean, that is not, that's not being
Utilizing
promoted.
garages and converting them into apartments.
That's not, whereas
And
you
you can
have.
make
Mixed-use complexes is what
$400,000.
you're talking about, mixed-use complexes, right?
Yes.
That's,
Especially, especially when it's a municipal use, like
Agree.
a school, a fire station, a library.
medical office,
That-
right?
you know,
Agreed,
that-
yeah, I agree.
And, I don't know, not a word of it in his proposal, and not enough, I don't see anything about preservation, I just don't. So those 2 things, I'm glad I got that off my chest. It has bothered me from the beginning that there's no mention of it. I find the entire thing unimaginative. Imagination.
Well, you don't know who on his staff is writing all these proposals.
You
because
don't
I don't
think-
think there's,
I think it's city planning. I really believe it. I think it's city planning. Lee, I believe it's city planning. I do.
who is city planning is doing this? Dan Goralnick, former city councilman?
Which part are we talking about, the City of Yes proposal, or are we talking about something else? Yeah,
City,
it's missing the mark, but I guess
Isn't
it's
it?
something,
Don't you just
yes,
say
it is, 100% missing the mark. You know, but it starts a conversation, right? So now let's have the conversation.
So, anything else we're gonna do the minutes now.
I just got it. Oh, yeah, all right, I'm here. Yeah, I know, that's why I literally came. I was like, I can't let Rosemary down. I got off on the wrong stop. I had to walk in the cold, and I had to take a cab.
Come. Let me, good Lord above. What, all of these damn folders. He's always so, here's, there you go.
Okay.
They're always so nice, they put all the documents here, but there are too many bloody folders, okay. Oh, so I did hand this out, you have the agenda, the second thing is,
Hold on.
the second item is intro 1031. This is the committee report and the legislation for it.
Okay.
And I just asked, I'm gonna around page 11 is, something that I think is quite important. This is page 12. If you don't mind, I'm gonna circle it. It showed the 5-year plan, housing production targets, the 5-year plan. Here is what goes into the plan. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I thought it was interesting. We had a bit of a conversation on that, on page 11. And all of these terms are defined in the legislation.
So tell me
Read it.
again, what is this? Like, okay.
Read it. No, you'll read it. You
I
weren't
will.
here. We're not going over it again.
I got
Read
you,
it.
I
And I sent the article. You got an email of the Cranes article, and, committee reports, by the way, are always very useful for the city, and then the legislation is attached. Okay,
I was looking for a digital version of the housing resource guide. I can't say I saw it. I know we've printed it, and do you have that, or where can, who has a digital version of it? I need it, like.
the office.
The office. Julie, can you send that to me?
Oh, she doesn't do it. You
Yeah,
talk to
Pablo
Farah,
tomorrow.
Pablo.
Ask Pablo tomorrow, or
Mhm.
email him.
All right, yeah, I'm gonna email them now. Sarah.
Just email. Pablo said that the question I had,
Mm-hmm.
city planning, and as it relates to NYCHA, email it to Farah, and I'll CC you and Julie, right?
Fine, yes. I do remember city planning said, send us the questions, we'll answer them.
Farah is gonna be the
Fine.
sender, I guess.
Fine. Okay, the minutes.
Hold on, I'm trying to download the agenda. The agenda is PDF, though.
You want the agenda?
You want me to take minutes?
It's too late.
Okay, we're done? Okay, go, okay. Sorry.
No, we're finished, except now we're gonna go back to the beginning. Since you're here, we can vote. We didn't have a quorum without you.
Oh, okay, but we are voting, what's the motion for the
To
vote?
approve the minutes.
Oh, to approve, yeah. Okay, we can vote, yes.
Well, Lee's still reading.
Okay.
Motion that we accept the minutes.
Thank you so much. And it's seconded, yes? Any opposition to adopting the minutes? No. Thank you, they're adopted. Excellent. Now, I'm so glad we got our assignments. We have a plan to move forward. This is great.
Mm-hmm.
The next meeting is December 20th, because our normal schedule would be Christmas, December 25th.
Oh, okay, I got it.
So we got a new date, December 20th.
Day before my birthday.
Okay, very good.
Am I gonna be here? Okay, I don't know. I'll let you know.
Well, we're hoping to have, Councilmember Sanchez,
Okay.
who's the chair of the Housing Committee on, the city council, and, some folks from city planning that, remember our meeting last time on
I think I said
census
they don't,
numbers?
they can't, oh, it was
City,
DOB.
it was DOB. Yeah.
I'll be out of the country. I can maybe join digitally if I'm not in flight. Okay, so I'll do that.
Okay.
Okay, great. I already sent the email, so once I get the digital version, I could help out a little bit more. I do think there are parts of this that we could probably use AI to help us build.
I will never use AI.
Just certain sections that I think could, we could expedite by utilizing that tool, yes.
So, motion to adjourn. Yes, there we go.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Unanimous.
Okay. Thank you, folks, thank you so much. Oh, look at Rich, Julie's hand is raised, can you?
Go ahead.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry, we had our back turned, sorry, Julie.
That's okay. I
Julie.
was just trying to answer the question in regards to the books. You're saying you couldn't find it online? The guides?
I couldn't find it within the inbox of emails, and I'm not sure if it's accessible online, so that was the question, yeah, where can I get a digital version of it?
Just go to the website and look for, I should have, all this time I was trying to get your attention. It's on the website.
I mean, that's saying go into the black holes as well, but like where?
So look for resources,
Resources, I'm in resources.
And just scroll all the way down to the bottom and you'll see a list.
Okay.
There's a whole list of everything that you're looking for. And as you're leaving the office, when you get to the door, the exit door, look to your right and there's guides right there as well.
I'm in resources, I'm all the way in the bottom.
it's there, I'm telling you, it's there.
I'm sure it is, I'd like to just download it, because then I can immediately click off the Google Doc, I can send it.
Every one of those things, click on every single one of them, click on something else, it's there, it's hidden, but it's there. Okay, can we, we can't end the meeting until you.
I would just love to just handle that right now, if I can get a digital copy.
It's a lot of searching. I'm trying to think, what was I searching for the other day? You just have to, you ever go on our website?
I'm looking through it now to see if I can find it.
I can't find it.
I scroll twice.
Up and down, resources, and I don't see it.
Okay, I'm logging on. I'll tell you in a second.
Go to the top.
No, go to,
Yep, I went to links and resources. Go.
Go to committees and you go on the
Yeah, I was
website.
gonna say maybe within the housing committee
Go to
tab.
committees and go to housing. And if it's not there, we're not allowed.
All right.
Both English and Spanish.
Is it? I only,
Yeah, it was translated.
not, it,
It's right there under committees. Did you
I
find
got it now.
Okay.
Got it, yeah. It's not under, resources though. It's under the committee.
It's under
Okay,
committees
great.
and it's also under resources. Everything is under resources as well. Under helpful links and
okay.
resources.
All right, we got
And
it.
grab
Thank
a
you,
hard
Julie.
copy on your way out the door.
Have a good night, everybody. Thank you for joining.
Good night.
Night.
She's gonna do it all.